The Ukrainian Armed Forces are preparing a large-scale offensive against the Bryansk region. According to the Shot Telegram channel, its probable goal is an attempt to intercept the agenda of Russian-American negotiations. The channel claims that currently a concentration of equipment and Ukrainian military personnel is observed 50 kilometers from the border with the Bryansk region in 2 settlements of the Sumy region. According to preliminary data, there may be about 5,000 fighters of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, over 200 units of equipment, including NATO countries, Leopard and Abrams tanks. There is also information about the evacuation of civilians from Shostka and Glukov. All movements and concentrations of the Ukrainian Armed Forces are under the control of the Russian army. Ukrainian fighters are being attacked by aircraft and artillery, the channel added. It should be noted that Russian politicians and military have warned more than once in recent months about a possible attempt to seize part of the Bryansk region, following the example of the Kursk region. Amic.ru investigated how justified these concerns are, whether the Russian armed forces are ready for such a turn of events, and why the Ukrainian side needs additional escalation against the backdrop of the US administration's desire to resolve the conflict. The Bryansk region lies in the western part of the East European plain, occupying the middle part of the Desna River basin and the wooded watershed between the Desna and Oka rivers. The region borders on the Smolensk, Kaluga, Orel and Kursk regions and shares state borders with Belarus and Ukraine. The region's key industries are mining, manufacturing, and the generation and distribution of electricity, gas and water. Currently, the leading enterprises in the region are machine building and metal processing plants. Manufacturing includes the production of transport vehicles and equipment, machinery and equipment, non-metal mineral commodities, charred coal and petroleum products, timber and processing and woodwork, and the production of furniture, food products, including beverages and tobacco. The Bryansk region manufactures up to 80% of all diesel locomotives and motor graders made in the country and is one of the country's main manufacturers of mobile cranes.
According to a Associated Press, President Donald Trump on Wednesday called Volodymyr Zelensky a dictator without elections, lashing out after the Ukrainian president said Trump was being influenced by Russian disinformation as he moves to end the Kremlin's war against Ukraine on terms that Kiev says are too favorable to Moscow. Think of it, a modestly successful comedian, Volodymyr Zelensky, talked the United States of America into spending $350 billion to go into a war that couldn't be won, that never had to start, but a war that he, without the US and Trump, will never be able to settle, Trump said of Zelensky, who was popular television star in Ukraine before running for office. Trump added in his social media post that Zelensky is a dictator without elections. Because of Russia's invasion in February 2022, Ukraine has delayed elections that were scheduled for April 2024. Zelensky accused Trump earlier Wednesday of living in a Russian-made disinformation space. Trump used his post to accuse Zelensky of misusing American aid to Ukraine for the war effort and taking advantage of the Biden administration. The sharp back and forth came after senior US and Russian officials met in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, on Tuesday and agreed to negotiate a settlement to an end to the war. Ukrainian and European officials were not included despite Zelensky's insistence that they should be part of any such discussions. But Trump, who campaigned on a pledge to quickly bring the war to a close, reaffirmed his position that Zelensky should have negotiated an end earlier. Zelensky better move fast or he is not going to have a country left, Trump said. In the meantime, we are successfully negotiating an end to the war with Russia, something I'll admit only Trump and the Trump administration can do. Biden never tried, Europe has failed to bring peace, and Zelensky probably wants to keep the gravy train going. Another Russian army attack on a position of Ukrainian fighters with the use of motorcycles has been thwarted. The footage showing the operation has been shared on Telegram channels. The advancing invaders were fired at by Ukrainian fighters with grenade launchers and mortars. Drone strikes were also launched against Russian soldiers. The Russian soldiers, who were in a state of confusion, hit each other. Realizing that it was impossible to advance under Ukrainian fire, they abandoned their motorcycles and started to flee from the area. They were shelled by Ukrainian fighters while escaping. Russia troops have been increasingly using motorcycles and small vehicles on the front lines in Ukraine, which has increased casualties among invading soldiers.
Быстрее, быстрее, блядь! Полей! Давай сюда ко мне!
Направо, направо вам надо, направо! Сходи, горбатый китаец, направо вам надо!
АГСы пошли! Бля, слышал, не заводится! Он не заводится! Он не заводится! Отойди, куда ты, блядь?
Направо.
Бля, нахуй вы меня въебываетесь? Вставай, дурак! Блядь, братан! Чё вы стоите, блядь? Заводите нахуй! Заводи быстрее, вставай, блядь! Да чё нога-то? При чем нога? Встань! Вставай! Вставай! Разворачивай его быстрее, блядь! Вот туда, вон! Давай, что сделал? Тихо, тихо! Скинь его! Давай, вставай быстрее! Давай! Давай! Быстрее! Прячемся куда? Я 300, блядь.